I had to switch. The camera started acting weird. Okay, I believe we are all here, and it is 6:30. Are we all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Director Alvarado,
I am here.
Director King Meredith,
I'm here.
Director Weiner,
Present.
Vice President Sedith,
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
and President Cepeda. Is he here today?
He will be with us shortly. Until that time, I will be presiding over the meeting.
Great. Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. So we will call the meeting to order at exactly 6:30. Thank you so much, everyone. With that said, Madam District Clerk, considering the agenda this evening, do we have any public comments for items not on the agenda this evening?
I did not receive any public comment for items not on the agenda. And I do see an attendee. And if this attendee would like to speak under public comment for items not on the agenda, if you can please raise your hand. Seeing none raised, we do not have public comment at this time for items not on the agenda.
Thank you so much. With that, directors, I would ask that you take a quick read of the agenda for this evening. And actually, let me take a step back. Since I'm serving in the capacity of the chair, instead of my usual role as parliamentarian, I'm going to ask if General Counsel Collins would please interimly serve as the parliamentarian for the meeting.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you, Madam. Appreciative. Back to the agenda. I'm going to, since we have no public comment, I'm actually going to turn this portion of the meeting over to our General Manager, Ms. Lisa Malik-Zende.
Thank you, Vice President Sedith. The next item on our agenda is the consent calendar, and the consent calendar consists of items 1 through 4. Madam Clerk, have we received any comments or are any members of the public present that would like to speak on these items?
Madam General Manager, we did not receive any written comment for the consent calendar items. And if our attendee wishes to speak under public comment for the consent calendar items, if you can please raise your hand. Seeing none raised, we do not have any public comment for the consent calendar items.
Okay, so if there are no public comments, then we would recommend the board approve these items and would request a motion to do so.
So moved.
Do we have a second on that motion? That was.
I second it.
Thank you very much. It has been moved by Director Alvarado and properly seconded by Director King Meredith. Do we have any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk.
Director Alvarado,
Yes.
Director King Meredith,
Yes.
Director Weiner,
Present.
Vice President Sedith.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And for the record, President Cepeda is not here, so motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the next item on our agenda is the regular calendar. Under item 5, this is a response, one of the items to the outstanding grand jury report responses. And this would be to adopt an amendment to our board policies and procedures. And Madam Clerk, have we received any written communications on this item?
We have not received any written comment for this item. And if our attendee wishes to speak under this item, if you can please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, we do not have public comment for this item.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our General Counsel, Claire Collins, for a brief overview of this item.
All right, thank you, Madam General Manager. As most of you know, and I know that Director King Meredith is new to this, but there was a grand jury report that was received earlier this year, and at the end of last year. And one requirement of the grand jury report was to adopt a written policy on reimbursement of a director's legal fees for both internal investigations and claims brought against a director by an outside third party. That requirement didn't say what the written policy needed to do. It just said that there had to be a written policy that dealt with those two issues, legal fees for internal investigations and claims brought against a director by an outside third party. In response, my office prepared a memo and proposed an amendment to the board policies and procedures that is included in the staff report attached to the agenda. This new policy language would establish that the district would provide for a legal defense of directors when required by law or otherwise determined to be in WCW's best interests, and that is determined by the board itself. The situations in which a director may be entitled to a defense under the government code are very fact specific, and therefore we believe that there is no simple way to lay out the exact conditions under which WCW would pay for such a defense. And I mean that there's no way to lay this out in advance. So we have drafted the policy to respond to the grand jury's requirement and also give the district appropriate flexibility to consider the facts and circumstances of each occurrence. Consistent with California law, this policy requires a director, as well as any employee or former employee, to request a defense, which the board would then consider and determine whether to provide a defense or not, given those specific facts and circumstances. The proposed policy goes on to say that if WCW does determine to provide a defense, that the board may order that the district pays those legal counsel costs directly or pays those costs on a reimbursement basis. The policy also provides that there may be joint representation of the director and the district as an entity if both are joined in a legal action. That concludes my report, which is further detailed in the staff report, but I'm happy to answer any questions from the board or staff.
Thank you so much. Did we have any public comment on this, Madam Clerk?
We did not receive any written comment for this item. And if our attendee wishes to speak under this item, you can please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, we do not have public comment.
Thank you so much. Directors, do you have any comments? Yes, no, your silence is saying no.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank
No.
you. Thank you so much. Director Wiener? Is that no? Thank you. Question for you, General Counsel. I know that it is implied that by saying that West County Wastewater may provide, and did you indicate it was at the board's discretion? Does it need to say that it's at the board's discretion?
The way that we have drafted it, it does use the word may, and may is a permissive. So in the second paragraph, it says WCW may provide such a defense, for example, and it will provide a defense will depend on the facts and circumstances of a particular situation. So there's no mandatory language here, but among the circumstances that may be considered, of course, is whether or not the director or the employee was acting in the course and scope of his or her employment or his or her position with the agency. And so we did draft it in such a way as to make it permissive for the board.
Okay.
I'll also just point out in the last paragraph, it does say it's a conditional statement if WCW determines to provide a defense. So again, these are options and they are provided pursuant to the government code.
Thank you. Okay. That was my inquiry. Thank you so much. And our action here this evening
Would be to adopt the proposed section 12.
So we
to
just need that. We
board
don't need
policy and
another reading.
procedures.
We don't need another reading. We just
Correct.
need this one. Okay. Wonderful.
That's
So,
correct. It's a policy and procedure, not an ordinance.
thank you so much. I just need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Thank you, Director Alvarado. And do I have a second?
Yes, you have a second.
Thank you, Director King Meredith. So we have a motion properly made and properly seconded. With no further discussion, Madam Clerk, you please pull the board.
Director Alvarado,
Yes.
Director King Meredith,
Yes,
Director Weiner,
Present.
Vice President Sutter.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And President
I'm
Cepeda
sorry.
is absent.
I'm sorry, Director Weiner, are you voting present or are you voting yes?
Present.
Present
We
is
don't
not
have
a
a
vote.
basis to vote present. Present is not a vote, so it can either be an abstention. Would you like to be counted as an abstention?
That would be fine. A present says that there's that I'm part of the and I'm not voting. However, you is correct.
You froze, sir. We didn't catch anything that you said.
I said that present implies that a quorum, I am part of the quorum, and that my vote is neither yes nor no.
All right, would the clerk please record this as an abstention? Under our rules, we do not have the basis to vote present and therefore it will count as an abstention.
Thank you. Confirmed. Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you so much. Madam General Manager, it's back to you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the committee and board liaison assignments. Just a second. And before I turn this back over to Vice President Sudduth, who's acting president for the meeting, do we have any comments from the public on this item, either written or attendees?
Madam General Manager, I did not receive any written comment for this item. And if our attendee wishes to speak under this item, which is our committee and board liaison assignments, you can please raise your hand. Seeing none raised, we have no public comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. So under the board policies, the president makes recommendations that are subject to the board's approval. At this time, I'm going to hand it back to Vice President Sudduth to discuss this item and the proposed committee assignments.
Thank you so much. As a result of Ms. King Meredith being appointed to the board and the latest censure of Director Weiner that removes him from committee and liaison assignments, this agenda item is for board to discuss new committee and liaison assignments. As you can see from the list that was attached to tonight's agenda, there are multiple committee and liaison assignments that now must be filled.
Mhm.
And I'd like to walk through each of these positions and discuss with the board who might be the appropriate appointee for each of these.
Okay.
We can start with the standing committees. Do we want to show the list, Ms. Brenda?
Would you like me to do that, Madam Clerk? I do have it ready to go.
I think she's on mute. I think she's
If you have,
saying yes.
if you have it ready to go, you can go ahead and do it.
All right. Can you see that now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So with the standing committees, the board standing committees, and as it stands, the Finance and Administration Committee will continue as listed.
Mhm.
And the IOE, the Infrastructure Operations and Environment Committee, will change to Director King Meredith
Yes.
will operate in the capacity that is listed. Thank you so much. I'm actually serving as the vice chair currently for the West County Agency. Can continue to move down to the industry-related industries.
Yes.
And again, we will have Ms. King Meredith, Director King Meredith here.
Yes.
As we move down, we will, I will serve on the Bay Area Biosolids Coalition, and Director King Meredith will be an alternate.
Yes. Mhm.
For the North Richmond Levy, Director King Meredith will be serving along with President Zepeda.
Yes.
For the Chamber of Commerce in El Sobrante, I will serve in that capacity. There will be no alternate. And the same is true for the El Sobrante MAC. For 350 Contra Costa, we will remove the alternates. I believe.
And for the North Richmond MAC, President Cepeda will now be the member and I'll be the alternate.
Yes, we've switched those two around. There we go. I believe that is it. You just need a
Would
little.
you like me to go through this one more time slowly? Just to
you
make
need
sure
one
that these
space.
are all the way that,
Yeah. You just need a space there. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
After President Zepeda's name on North Richmond map, you just need a space.
Oh, yes. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I believe this will be it.
So if I may, I'm just going to go back through these and highlight all of the changes so that you can identify them for the minutes.
And I believe we no longer need the ad hoc committee. Madam GC, yes.
Okay.
Actually, we still are not complete with the ad hoc. We're only complete with the GM process. So we do still need, we'll have a few more on the general.
This is true. And we may need to, because ad hocs are not supposed to be long-standing.
No, it's not.
This
So we may
will
need-
wrap up.
Yes. So yeah,
Okay.
we may need to revisit that one. They're not supposed to be long-standing. Okay. So I think we're good on this one. Yeah, highlight this one. And yeah, Vice Chair. She's an alternate.
Okay.
Bay Area Barrier Solids. Okay. North Richmond Levy.
Yes.
The North Richmond Levy. Up one, up a couple right there. And then the North Richmond
Okay.
MAC. Yes, ma'am. And then you have an extra space after Deborah Alvarado's name in the bracket. Yes, ma'am. I think that's it.
Okay.
Director Alvarado, Director King Meredith,
Okay.
do you see anything
Nope,
that requires further discussion?
nope, looks good to me.
Vice President
Yes, ma'am.
Suddeth, I had a question. After I reviewed these, I saw that you were a standalone on a couple of these, and it wasn't any alternate. Would you need an alternate in order to be with you on a couple of these? One is under, let's see, at the women in water. I see that you don't have an alternate with you there.
I don't need an alternate, but it's a membership organization.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you want to join it, you can join it.
No, I just want, I want to, fulfill my responsibility at, and fulfilling,
Yeah, no.
and being a team, and our taking on some of these responsibilities.
No, but you're welcome to be a
No,
member.
I'm fine.
You're welcome to be a member.
Thank you.
No, we want to bring in as many women in water as possible.
Well, thank you for the invite.
Yes.
And
yes.
well, I'm fine for now. And if it needs me to take in as an alternate in the future, I will, I won't mind serving.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we are doing, yeah, I think these are good. All right, so if there's no comments or questions from the board, and I think we just need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay.
And the second,
And I second it.
wonderful. It's been properly moved and seconded. And no further discussion. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Director Alvarado,
Yes.
Director King Meredith,
Yes.
Director Weiner.
Present.
Okay, I will, I'm confirming taking that as an abstention. And Vice President Suddeth.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you so much. Madam General Manager.
Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is other business, reports from staff, general manager, general counsel. We do not have any at this time. So with that, I'll turn it back to you for director's comments / meeting reports.
Thank you so much. Directors, do you have anything to report?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Director King Meredith? You want to mute? You're on mute.
I'm sorry, none at this time.
Thank you so much. Director Weiner?
I have nothing.
Thank you so much. And I will report dates. I did get to go to the NALIO, National Association of Latino Elected Officials conference. It was very informative. It's a lot of information to deliver back to us. Also was able to represent the district it's a special award for Representative Maxine Waters on behalf of Women in the Movement as the NAACP National Legacy Awards. And I sit on the statewide environmental for California and Hawaii on the West Coast. And I also sit on the Women in the Movement for California and Hawaii. And so I was able to represent us as we gave her that legacy award. And this was last week. So we have a lot of work to do. I'll be at the Aqua conference next week as we do some more legislative work. And I'm working on our Water Education for Latino Leaders conference, which will likely be in September. So I'll be working with the general manager and about 30 local leaders, including our assembly member and our state senator and our county supervisors and a lot of local leaders to talk about water policy here in our region. And so it's going to take a couple of months to pull that together, but looking forward to working with fellow directors and our leadership team here to pull it together why it's important to have strong water policy. That would be it. With that, if there is nada más, we are going to hear from our fabulous district clerk with our favorite words. Madam.
Thank you, Vice President Sedith. We can now, the meeting, last item on the meeting agenda is adjournment at 6:56 p.m.
And we will be meeting again.
And we will be meeting again on July 20th.
July 20th. We will see you then. Be safe.
All right,
Have a good
everyone, be
evening.
safe. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, everyone, have a good one.
Good night.
You too.
Good
Thank you.
night.